What up, my freaks? RuinousInsight here with part, I want to say 58 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Malekith and Naggarond Inc. campaign. Attention, Naggarond Inc. workers. Are you running out of limbs? It has come to administration's attention that some are having difficulties making their limb payments. Not to worry, with our new partial payment plan, you can rest assured that your misery will be dragged out for as long as possible. Speaking of dragging out as long as possible, I think that this episode we're going to try our best to not drag it out and head towards that endgame scenario. So try to end as many turns here as possible to at least get the end is nigh, if nothing else, and then otherwise get everybody into positioning, as once again interest has certainly dropped for this campaign. Otherwise, as we saw last time, we had some interesting battles in this late game, especially the Bolt Storm of Sharky Shadow Dart's army and the true obnoxiousness of this type of army. And that's even without the additional buffs that the other K-Knight assassins are liable to be giving this army later on, so it'll get even stronger as it goes. Though I guess it's a little bit far from everything. Once Throg is done, we can send it to Lorelorn and have the Shades do a little bit of a shootout with the Wood Elves when they enter their endgame scenario mode. Anyway, let's begin with whatever it is we gotta do this turn. Hellebrand has moved, administrations don't need to. Malice and Morathi are good. Jaden, you're with Morathian for now, you're just sitting still. Rakarth, you are in the same position right now while we wait. You are unplaginated, so cannot move. Akhenet, you're waiting for us to declare war on Torgavan and the Crag Halls of Findal, or Vidrioth rather. Barsathar, you're still together with Rakarth, and I guess you guys are just gonna stay still where you are for now. Eladan, Shadow Dart, you are waiting for your army. Not that it's necessary, mind you, but will probably or potentially have a use for it eventually. Furion, Beastbinder, you and your flying army will be fighting the Wood Elves once the Sisters of Twilight revive, and Galroth, Life Quencher, you are the follower flying army, so the two of you will function together. Hopefully we'll have the opportunity to have all three of these armies fight. It might be a little bit too much, depending on how many Wood Elf stacks spawn, but we shall see. Administration, alright, you guys just have a bunch of extra units if we want to send them somewhere. This is essentially here in case a battle goes bad and we need reinforcements, but it's not super necessary. You two are heading out to Lorelorn, so you're going to keep moving out this way, and your armies are made to actually fight. Lots of phoenixes in this one, and lots of Bloodrack Shrines and White Lions in this one as well. Killian, we just checked in, you don't need to move. Erdithane, Gate Smiter, you will sail out. I guess, you know what, we're going to keep him and Rakarth in roughly the same positions. What I'm thinking here is we send you guys southward. Maybe we will fight Kairos. It isn't really necessary, but let's say if we identify Kairos, i.e. if we find him, then we will fight him. But if we don't, we'll just leave Oxyodal to it, because we paid Oxyodal like 300,000 gold, and he seems to be winning regardless, so I think he'll be fine. Anyway, that was Erdithane, Gate Smiter, if we can find him in here again. Yes, indeed we can. Mave, Granite Stance, you're just staying here in case we get into a war with Icket Claw, though I imagine that he's probably too terrified of us to do so, especially as his armies are pretty darn weak. And I do believe, wait, there's a temp? Who the heck is temp? Oh, right, you're Lokir's temp. You're not serving too much of a purpose right now, but that, well, frankly, it's unlikely to change, but we'll see. Ganache Canemarked, you're heading out all the way to Naggarond in case we need to take control of one of the armies over there, specifically a K-Knight army. Julielen does not need to move. Galroth does not need to move. And I believe, unless one of the Black Arcs needs to do something, which it looks doubtful that it does, I believe we're good. You, I was going to potentially send around to annoy these guys, because there isn't really much for you to do, and I believe you can't be close enough to Lorelorn, although let's check. just in case. Not like there's anything else for you to do, and it's not like we're in a hurry. But if you can get in range of Lorelorn to provide support, that would actually be swell for these armies. You're stuck where you are, and it's a little laggy when I do that. Admiral Moksha is stuck. Well, stuck. Doesn't need to move at the current time. Ah, Canovale. Somebody that actually does need to move, though it looks like he'll wait a turn until hitting that sea lane. Amhas Life Quencher was building, but is building no longer. But I guess we don't want to go this way until we... unless we want to fight Tzeentch, which we don't necessarily want. So you could just stay here for now, and if he comes this way, you can help out the Star Tower, or Sun Tower. Asur, there we go. I'm just going to move you just in case, and then we can feel free to end the turn. So skip Lord Not Moved and assign skill points. Building upgrades I did, I believe, between the episodes, so whatever is left is probably nothing important. Mountains of Flesh and Mootland. Yeah, this is all stuff that'll be traded. So skip Imminent Rebellion in Castle Drakenhof. Oh my. Well, that was certainly quick. We could transfer it right now. And at least that way, maybe we transfer it. We won't be able to raid while moving, but it's not like the public order is all that problematic here. I was waiting to upgrade a few things, but yeah, you know what, that's fine. Aberheim, so that is you. So to you, we will trade the Moot, and you will want to... You're already at war with all of our enemies. Well, that's fantastic, so don't take the money, just give them the territory. The Moot to you, and then we can give you Fort Oberstyre. Wait, no. We can give you Schwarzhofen and Castle Drakenhof. We are using Tempelhof right now, so we can't trade that. So Schwarzhofen, yes, enjoy. Yes. And then we can give you Castle Drakenhof. Plus 68. Very, very nice. On it. Alright, and there's still a few territories that we'll need to give them, but it did reset the public order, so at least it will be reasonably useful to these guys. Happy day. Now we can end the turn, as that was, I believe, the only imminent rebellion, though I'm sure Castle Tempelhof is also not happy about its current state of affairs. We'll just trade it as well. End turn. Jaden, why are you moving? Oh, you're gonna move like a... yeah. Gonna move half an inch. Great. Mostly just me forgetting to slightly move them because I assumed they were already moved. Vashnar, you're still shockingly alive, and I'm not going to do any kind of agreements with you. I'll let you just keep fighting with the other forces of chaos. Alright, Goldtooth should be pretty much done, and in fact they're not even going to try to attack us again, which is great. Anybody else? There's only 75 factions remaining, and I would say a good percentage of those are, if not our allies, at the very least our friends. Mostly because we've been avoiding that, and it looks like Throg has come a-calling. Well, this is his last battle of the campaign, so I guess we will indeed take it. Unfortunately, Sharky Shadow Dart is as a reinforcement, but with only 32 seconds until she arrives on the field. It really shouldn't be all that problematic. Lots of Stalkers, which should be able to avoid our shades, but we can send in the basic infantry to find them. Here we go. Throg's last fight. Alrighty, here we go. It is Throg's last stand. He has one chance in this particular battle, and that chance is completely reliant on taking out Ferry's army before the other army gets here. Of course, the other army will get here relatively quickly, and we have deployed ourselves reasonably close to it as it is approaching us from the other side of the map, but it looks like Throg will try to rush us as well. So, it'll be basic units trying to hold while the shades try to move in to reinforce. Looks like there's a unit of Marauder Horsemen just sort of running around and using their axes as, well, skirmish cavalry do have a tendency to do, but we are still able to approach the position that we want. And I do think from a terrain perspective, we've got it pretty good. There's essentially a moat or a low, well, yeah, so sort of like a moat, a little river going through the middle of the map, and we have a slight high elevation. The enemy will also have to essentially blob up to get around this impassable unstable terrain here, so there's a limited number of units that can come at us at the same time and won't be able to surround the basic units. On top of that, since Throg lacks casters in his army, we are not afraid of this blobby formation that we have got going, which is also going to be a boon to us. Our stats are also not too bad, 57-63 on a unit of tier 1 and Dread Spears plus bleed and 43 melee attack. They may be basic, they may be tier 1, but with all the upgrades and the levels that they have, they should be able to hold fairly decently. Anyway, we're going to open up the battle with a Blade Wind going through some of the enemy infantry, stalkers, and horsemen, while the enemy charges in with those Fimir stalkers. Now, do the stalkers count as large units and small entities? Unfortunately, they don't, but oh well. I guess in this particular case, the Dread Spears could have been replaced by Bleak Swords, but it's fine. It's still Norska, and they do like their monsters, or so I've heard. Here comes a few more enemies. The Puke coming in from Throggy Boy as well, damaging these Dread Spears decently heavily, but they do have that stand or die up from their lord, and are thus now at 71-77 in terms of melee attack and defense, which is pretty good. They've also got their armor up at 80, which is via various upgrades and stuff, so pretty happy with that. Our reinforcing army is also starting to make their way forward, and at the very least is able to reach a few of the enemies, and are beginning to fire on some enemy Marauder Berserkers. Throg is moving in, but is rapidly going to lose HP as he gets targeted. There you go, just lost about a quarter of it, and all the anti-large firing on him from the Black Ark Corsairs will see him off reasonably quickly, just in the same way that it did when we've been facing off against enemy ogres in the past. Plus all the Dark Shards armor piercing, making his relatively decent armor pretty useless as well, and he's already about a third of his HP remaining only. And there we go, I do believe that's him booking it out of there. The enemy army has not yet made it through the lines of Dread Spears, and Throggy is just running away, shattered in fact, with basically no HP remaining. Our secondary army continues to move forward, but it looks like they're not going to be needed at all. Yeah, they'll probably rip a few enemies apart, but it looks like the battle is already nearly ours. And as I said, this portion of the terrain causing the enemy to blob up is also really not working out so well for him. Alright, I guess it's been a barb storm few episodes. We had the Shades previously, and now, well, we still have Shades, but also other range units just ripping enemies apart. Now from both directions. They run forward, they get hit, they run backward, they get hit. There's nowhere to hide from the barb storm. Or Bolt Storm, whatever. Barb Storm, Bolt Storm. I think Barb Storm is one of the suffixes, or the names of power, rather. Yeah, it is. Neither of these guys have Barb Storm, but I guess it doesn't matter. And there we go. Those poor Berserkers and Norskins, generally speaking, I do believe they're very near the rout. The Icehorn Marauders are still in it, but they are not unbreakable, so they'll charge forward, but probably not for long. Alright, and hey, they've got that heavy Chaos Warrior armor on them, so at least they're better than the average Norskin. But not good enough, I suppose, to continue charging us. A few of the last... Ooh, nice hit with that spear from that Dread Spear right before he died. And there we are. Looks like the battle is ours. Not a long fight by any means, but it was a pretty fun one. Our Dread Spear line did not collapse at all, and the only one that did get heavily damaged was the one that we kept out front. It was actually considerably in front of the others to be the tip of the spear, quite literally. It also was the one that got hit by Throg's Puke, and probably suffered quite a bit of a friendly fire from the rest of our units, so yeah. Anyway, let's speed it up while we chase down the remnants of Throg's army, but he is done, in fact, quite literally, as Sharky has chased him down and dropped him. Alright, he'll be buried by snow and never heard from again, at least not in this campaign. Alright, a few more seconds and we'll just chase these guys down. Shouldn't be a problem. Come on now. Actually, it's a little bit of a problem in the sense that it's taking a little bit too long to chase them down. Our assassin's getting a few kills, but Frankly, they don't do much. The assassins, I mean. I've never particularly liked the assassin sort of heroes. They're mostly useful for the smoke bombs that they provide in all range armies, but also for the buffs that they provide to the units, not their own battle prowess, which has so far been pretty lackluster, but it's okay. That's not what they're for. Alrighty, ouch. I gotta say, definite ouch. I feel kind of bad for Throggy there. It looks like even the fairy army was liable to actually win that particular fight before Sharky got there, which is unfortunate for Throg. And I feel bad because I love Throg. He's such an interesting character and a fun lord, and I really enjoyed his campaign back when I did it so long ago. Looks like the Lamian Sisterhood will randomly declare war on us. I don't know why, but I guess I don't particularly care because they'll die. And just as quick, call your allies to... Nah, don't even bother calling allies, it's fine. I'd rather them not betray us over a frickin' Lamian Sisterhood. Lorelorn, will you declare war on us? No, you want the trade, which makes sense, but it's not gonna happen. Torgavon will finally declare war, which means they'll retake the tree, but that'll leave their main territory to get destroyed by us, or actually they're not gonna attack the tree. Surprising. Big if true. Send their souls to Cain, gives us magic power wind reserve for all armies faction-wide for 8 turns, versus weapon strength +5 for 8 turns. Either way, we won't be able to access it during the end game, so let's just get the extra magic so everybody's nice and topped up. Send their souls to the Dark Prince. Clan Moors is fine. Enchanted Shield. Troll Hunter for Fairy, I guess. And it looks like, as soon as we're done with this part, Zealot. Upkeep reduction for all armies. Well, you know what? I might have cared about that in the early game, but now we're pretty beyond that. Let's say. Rebellion in Stirland. Call of the Wild. The end is finally nigh. That didn't take nearly as long as I was thinking it might, so I'm happy with that. Elf Servant, Dark Pegasus, Movar. Who the heck is Movar? Whose army are you in? Oh, you're in the Shellraise army. Well, you're certainly not going to use a chariot, because they feel kind of garbage. Let's go for... You hit harder on the Dark Pegasus than you do on the Cold one. Wait. 440 versus 413. Actually, very slightly more on the Cold one, but at the cost of a massive amount of speed. HP, minus 742, minus 500. Just stay on the Cold one, I think. Maybe. Frankly, I doubt it'll matter much, if at all. Malekith, you're up. I guess you're going to take out whoever this... just go directly for the Gristle Valley. Should be an easy little auto-resolve for you. It's not like they stand a chance against your army, and then just loot and occupy it. We'll trade it off to our allies here shortly. Alright, whether it be the Dwarfs or the Golden Order, obviously don't bother collecting income. And while I should do this in order, I just want to make sure that Throg is gone for good, so you into Druki. First strike to the Varg camp. Fairy, you're going to follow along as well. Like, so close victory, it won't be close. Just like it wasn't for when we actually fought Throg. And now... Auto-resolve it, nobody will die, not like we actually care. And we're actually going to keep Varg Camp, unlike the other places. Hey, another Envoy. Fantastic. Now the Envoy and I guess the Slaver both need to actually be bound to some units. A Black Staff for Fairy, eh? Well, Fairy will probably never fight again, so you don't actually need them. You can have the Envoy, though. Why not? Envoy. And a Factor. There's your Envoy. And what was the other thing that we found? Damn, I instantly forgot. It was a Slaver. Yes. Alright. You can act as a sort of admin army. Manticore for Sharky. Very, very nice. Moksha, everybody's getting elf servants. And Fairy, do you have an elf servant? You do. Okay, I think I've been doing a pretty good job at giving everybody an elf servant because nobody has had any rebellious thoughts of late. Now, Monolith of Flesh. We don't need to keep it, so we're going to move Couladin out of here, and he will act as a support army for Sharky. A few Sisters of Slaughter, some Harpies. Certainly not Shades like she's been using, but it's okay. Monolith of Flesh to you. Trade Monolith of Flesh and join our war against... Oh, wow, I did not do that. Our Torgavon and Lamian Sisterhood. And how about... Wait, Lamian Sisterhood? No. How about Goldtooth? No. How about the Northern Provinces? No. Okay. Well, they're all dead anyway, so it doesn't matter, but fine, just do this. Enjoy, Kislev. Now you have that province completed, and you can keep fighting against the Chaos Dwarfs, which, frankly, probably didn't appreciate us doing that very much. We could always fund Kislev. We got 300,000 gold to spare. What we do want to keep an eye on is the dead. They're not in Steingart, which means we can take Steingart and then move to Fyldorf afterwards. And then obviously trade them both to the Golden Order. Auto-resolve. I mean, Soko's Dark Path, frankly, we don't even care if your army dies. You were just a temporary army, meant specifically for this purpose, to take garbage little settlements. You can build this, don't collect the income, minus 42. You don't like that, do ya? Oh, well. In fact, while we're trading provinces, let's move you two around. Bane Kane marked. A little bit concerned about this army, though. We can reach it. They did randomly declare war on us. Hopefully we'll still be able to reach Waldenhof right after. I guess we're about to find out. We should also use the R&Ds because this is their last turn to do it. And auto-resolve this. And hopefully we can heal up a little bit. I don't understand why this army declared war on us and then suddenly decided that, oh, we're now going to attack you. Also, is there anybody at Essen and Mordheim? No, it's just the Heathlands for Draika, which does also make sense. Also, I guess since these guys are at war with us, we can move the R&Ds over there. It's something for them to actually get a benefit from. Beautiful. And the second one did not move. Okay, R&Ds, come on now. Also, we can re-up the sacrifice to authority. Yeah, why not? This should be up at pretty much any time. And oh, wait a second. So the end is nigh in 10 turns exactly. Huh. I forget. Will these come available in 5 turns or 10? Well, I guess we're about to find out for them, right? Hopefully it's 5. Because if it's 10, it'll be 1 turn short, and it is 5 turns. Okay, good. I just want to be able to activate Sacrifice to Cain for the endgame, which we are approaching. Even more so than we were before. You to Waldenhof. Auto-resolve it, please. Close victory or not, and just loot and occupy to get some of your health back. Alright, and Talisman of Endurance and Northern Sylvania is ours, but let's say not for long. Castle Templehof will trade you away after we take Eschen over here. All to the Golden Order while we move southward, and then in 10 turns, hopefully, we land on Draika's doorstep. Loot and occupy. Beautiful. Alright, all this looting and occupying we're doing is probably also making sure that these things all are very much rebellious, but that's just fine. Okie dokie, how's your plague going, by the way? Still going. We could have Akhenet attack Val's Anvil, but I'm kind of inclined to see whether they try to attack anything first. They doubtless will not siege the Waterfall Palace, but you know what, let's upgrade you. And just in case, we gotta make sure that we get these places all fortified. Now... Oh, look, it's Ariel. What are we going to do? Let's trade Flensburg, Wurtbad, and Needling, I think, to the main empire. I want to keep them strong. Flensburg, trade, and join war against Stargwalon, Torgavon. And Lamian Sisterhood and Northern Provinces and... Oh, okay, so Karl at least is willing to fight these jerks. Propose offer.
Agreed.
Alright, there's your Flensburg. You can also enjoy some Wurtbad. Like so.
Yes.
For nothing, and then we can also get you enjoying your Needling. Don't bother with the money.
I will.
And it's too late to gather allegiance points with them, so there's no need to go defensive alliance. I think I'll do it right before we start the endgame, just so that there's no chance of everybody fighting amongst each other, but not for now. Then Castle Templehof and Fort Oberstar. I guess we could just trade you to the Golden Order while we're at it. So Castle Templehof.
Wine of palest gold will wet
Perfect.
Agreed.
And Fort Oberstar.
On it.
There you go, powering up that empire. Hopefully they don't lose territory to the ogres down south, who don't appreciate our gift giving, but, well, that's their problem, not ours, at the current time at least. We could also grab Essen, Mordheim, Nagenhof, and transfer them to the empire as well. Certainly potential. And Dreika has Beckhofen. Well, that's interesting. Actually, while we're giving stuff up, I just want to double check that there's nothing else that we want to or need to give up to our allies, and I don't believe there is. Oh, look at that. You've taken Aquitaine. I do want that for us, though. Would you be willing to part with it? Minus 35. Okay, so we'll actually need to trade you a territory for that. Though I suppose at the end of the day, it's really border low that we care about. In fact, actually, we don't care about any of this. Because, well... regardless of the benefit... Oh, critical failure. Regardless of the benefit of these territories... Oh, I guess, yeah, we'll start critical failing the R&Ds now. But most of them seem to be good, so maybe just ignore them. In the name of progressing the end turns. Yeah, let's do that. Administration, Crone, Hellebron, let's start moving everybody else around, shall we? Malice. You need to proceed to Snake Gate and besiege it. I think this will be just another auto-resolve, most likely. I mean, On the other hand, for all we know, this could be Malice's last fight of the campaign. Oh, and of course, one turn of attrition rips the chariots apart, making one die. I really don't like how chariots are implemented, in terms of, at the very least, the way that they take damage like this from, what's it called? From attrition. Like, they lose 10% of their HP, but still manage to lose one chariot per 1/4 of their units. And doesn't seem quite right. But anyway, we may attack this or we may besiege. If they are willing to sally out, that'd be a much better battle, because frankly, these settlement attacks are a little bit meh. Morathi. You can... Oh, you don't need to move right now. We've got 10 turns to get to Orion's camp, which is close by. Jaden, you're in the same. Karth, you are moving down here to stay with Erdithane, just in case the three of you need to move towards the forces of Zinch, Akanet, and the Shellray. Stay where you are, though I'm a little bit concerned that Daith might attack. The Shellray looks like he's just out of range. Barsathar has moved. Lokir, you need to do things, and so does Fairy. Lokir, you can move all the way out here. Garisi. Are you able to cross this? I don't think so. I guess you could go all the way around this way, but somehow I doubt that he's gonna do that. Let's move you and Fairy together, and then threaten all of these camps with the Lokir. In fact, do we maybe want to move you, Lokir, into March Stance? Oh, we can't anymore. Well, that's a crying shame. Go into encamp, I guess. There you go. Wait, now you can move more? But you still can't go in March Stance. Well, weird, but not a problem. Okie dokie. Who is up next? Let's find out. Lokir, you have moved. I'd love to advance it a few more turns. Eladan. You're waiting for forces. Oh, damn, I forgot to move Fairy. Not that Fairy, this Fairy. You need to move down here, into the sea lane. And then I guess Vash's Barb Storm will be next, sort of. This Fairy is actually supposed to transfer these armies to Vasha, so yeah. Alrighty, well, I guess at least we know who we're looking for in here. There should at least be a search bar or something, just to speed up the looking for characters. You're going to go near that sea lane, wherein you will acquire the rest of your units. Go out here. Looks like you're not going to suffer attrition, which is perfect. Furion, Beastbinder, you are now good where you are. Let's have you go into, I guess, channeling. Everybody go into channeling, basically. And I know that pretty much everybody does have magics maxed out, but who knows? They could start losing magics at some point. It's not like we care about the extra money that it costs to have them out here. Anyway, that was Furion Beastbinder. Let's see if we can find him again. Killian... Oh, man, he's up here somewhere, isn't he? Alright, there he is. Ilrishen. You guys actually do need to move. You've got a few turns to go, so that you can get to... Ooh. Lorelorn. I'm going to move you in regular stance, because Dastan Coldeye very well might attack us. And if he does, well, then he does. And we should have no problem killing him with these two armies. Even without the points, and I'll probably apply the points between the episodes, if I don't forget. Alright, you two stay there. That was Ilrushen, and then we're looking like we're nearly ready for another end turn, minus the minor amount of buildings we'll probably be building. You can actually head out here and go into channeling. Erdithane Gate Smiter, and the rest of you cannot, unfortunately. Well, actually, Rakarth cannot, but, well, too bad for Rakarth. Alrighty. Who's down here? Fern Harvest, Tempest of Talons, Bane, Cane Marked, Mauve, Granite, Stance. I believe we have not moved you, but we don't need to because we're waiting to see if Skaven declare war. Sokos Dark Path is good, and I believe that was mostly it. Yanash Cane Marked. Ah, yes, you're supposed to head out to Naggarond. Let's send you here to the Monolith Sword. Well, just keep moving. I sincerely doubt we'll need the bonus armies, but you could just sit here for a little while. Alright, anybody else? You don't need to move. Galroth, the Life Quencher, we've moved essentially, so you are okay. Now I guess it's just the Admirals. So you're stuck or you don't need to move. Admiral Valal, we need to see if we can get you into position to support an attack on Lorelorn, and yes we can, fantastic, which means you're staying right there, buddy. Nobody for you to attack out here anyway. Leech Granite Stance is fine where he is. Admiral Moksha is one of the others that's stuck down here. Canovale, with the Blessed Dread itself, is going through here. Yeah, of course it had to reset the forces. Alright, Canovale's down here somewhere. And oh, Alhas, you can go for Gargantuan Black Arc, fantastic. I knew I still had to do something with you, and Moksha is otherwise fine, so all we have left are the heroes, and there's only a few heroes that we actually need to move. Oh, well, oh no. Did we discover Tzeentch? No, we did not. For some reason, we did discover these guys, the Elves, and they're willing to join wars, that's fine. You know what? I'd prefer if that wasn't for free, so let's give you some gifts, shall we? They're not at war with the, with our lizard friends, are they? Doesn't look like it. They're allied with the Last Defenders and Talakwa, just not quite allied with the Ghosts of Pahwaks, but let's fund them a teensy bit. They already love us, despite what we did to Ulthuan. But hey, Ulthuan is prospering under Malekith. It's never been as prosperous as it is now. Let's go with that. You guys, I was gonna have you go up north to potentially acquire some more R&D. You guys are actually out of it. But on the other hand, we've basically acquired all the techs that we really need or want, so it's not a big deal either way. Alright, buildings and then an end turn. Oh, I guess Diplo and then an end turn. Eotane, let's go you. And we need to get rid of some of these slaves or else the public order is going to screw us again. Let's get you. There we go. Creator, construction cost, etc., etc. That's all fine. What's up next? Eotane still needs to do something. Ah, yes, the slave slums. We've, well, Ulthuan may be prospering, but it is certainly a lot more filled with slave slums than it was in previous times. Do that. The ability to rush everything is just ridiculous. I guess it wasn't crazy useful in the early portions of the campaign, but certainly is now. The Shell Race, Triumph, Evershale, and Torsar War. You're going to go for the Slave Slums, control for adjacent provinces and the entire donut. You, the Shell Race Triumph, you like the Dread Manse, and we could build something here, but the public order is fine, so I guess we'll go for the Dread Manse here as well. Although honestly, at this point, I'm starting to think maybe it's not even super necessary to do the building whatsoever, and because with the end game so close, a lot of this stuff probably won't even finish up in terms of its. Oh, you don't have an artisan's house. I go for the artisan's house. You don't even need the extra buildings, but who knows? And we could lose a bunch of battles. It is the Wood Elves, after all, and they will be a concern. 1950. Nice. And we can build some more stuff here. You can have the execution blocks, and we'll rush that as well. And you already have the Tower of Dark Rituals, but you don't have the Sork Tower. So that's what we'll get. Tower of Dark Rituals, and auction box. And just out of curiosity, how much is this thing worth to you? The Witchwood. 22 only. Wow. Wow, that's incredible. It's 22. This costs 150 points or something for the Temple of Cain. All right, well, I think we're just gonna have to accept that we're not getting the Temple of Cain back because it's pretty much impossible. I don't know if it's a bug or whatnot, but, well, it's just not happening. We already moved you all, so we don't care about Northern Sylvania, Ivory Road. All right, we somewhat care about you. Let's get the defenses and the manors, residences, that was the word I was looking for. You can be built up as well. We should probably rush at least one of you. And at least this way, we don't have to worry anymore about the other stuff. You can build the Den of Outlaws, though I suppose we could also... could also get some benefit from building other stuff here, but whatever. As in defensive structures, but I'm not going to bother. Alright, Icetooth Mountains, oh my, there's still plenty to build here, and you don't actually have an administrator, but frankly, we don't really care about the money either. Just go for the Artisan's House, yes. Guanji Valley, you're as you are. Monolith of Catan, you are going to go for growth. I already checked Guanji Valley, and I don't know why I'm checking it again. Paravon, you're going to need defenses against the Wood Elf Incursion. Steingart, just for a turn. Build stuff, or mostly because I don't want to look at you in this menu, and that's it. Garrison Lord not moved. Siege equipment, that's for Malice, who I guess can build it. I doubt that they're going to attack us. What the heck is this? Iron Hail Gunners Dragon Breakers. Huh, is this an SFO unit? I don't even know what this unit is. Interesting. And wait, you can build all the towers you want in one turn. Which is hilarious because we can't even use them. Just build the ramp. Nobody can even push the ramp. Okay, don't bother then. It is funny though. Unassigned skill points here are not moved. Building upgrade available was... Wait, there was a hero we wanted to move. Or a couple heroes. You and you. You and you, and technically we needed another assassin. Oh, we're out of assassin space anyway. Oh, and of course it's a Shadows of Naggarond assassin. Of course. Unbelievable. Alright, well, no, whatever. No siege equipment. Commandment available. We'll pop you into demand highborn hostages, though your public order is currently just fine. Damage building in Waldenhof. Yeah, I should repair it before we transfer it next turn. And skip an turn. At least the end is nigh, folks. Apparently I forgot to move a Druki resources. Oh, you're just heading out to the Thrice Cursed Peak or somewhere here in case you want to build stuff, as this place is our new military province, or the military province, I should say, and that's in the interior of Illustria. I also forgot to check diplomacy, but frankly, it's not going to make much of a difference anyway. R&D, you're moving out as well. Alright, this is just all holdovers from last episode. Alrighty, and are we good? Alright, looks like we're good. Snake Gate besieged. Let's see if they try to sally out or not. Castalton wants a military alliance. Well, I think we just keep on waiting for it. I'd rather these guys all be fully destroyed before we commit to any kind of alliances with these guys, because then they'll get so weak that the Chaos Dwarfs might, well, start destroying them. And I really don't want to be moving out and dealing with other factions for our incompetent allies. Shield of Civilization or no. Alright, it looks like no attacks coming in from the enemies that are actually still nearby and are our enemies, and looks like we're good to go to next turn. Character wounded for administration? No. Call for a feast to get the extra control for all provinces, as we usually do. Raise everyone's taxes? No need for it at all, just accept the gold. Organize a hunt will give us bonuses, or 10 turns of... Lords have a chance to gain 4 loyalty. But he gets wounded. I'd rather not bother with it. Just organize a hunt. And, man, more stuff. Killian gains favored. Control +3. Upkeep reduction. And root out some rebels. Even more public order. I guess if nothing else, we don't want to deal with more public order issue. Well, this ain't bad. It's just that, who cares? Who cares about the upkeep at this stage in the game? Root out some rebels. And torture them to death. Damn, we just got so much extra public order from all this. Ambusher discovered. Belagar faction destroyed Wintertooth, though we should have seen that last turn. And we can skip the rest. There's those ceremonial weapons. And I guess since we have 9 turns, 8 turns, no. And it's 9 turns until the Wood Elves get really angry. I just want to double check. The countdown to an imminent cataclysmic event has begun, its consequences to be revealed when the sands of time are exhausted. Huh. So this doesn't say what faction it is. Funnily enough, for those watching the Zatan campaign, it was the wrong endgame scenario that, it wasn't the one that I selected, so it was a big surprise and very panic-inducing. At the time, I'm hoping it doesn't happen here, because then we would have destroyed the Wood Elves for nothing, but I don't believe this says anything about it. Let's just hope not. Alright, and our public order should be just massively bonus everywhere. We just got a plus, yes, it's growing everywhere. Even the places that were like minus 30 before, it's all positive now. Anyway, with that, I'm going to call this episode, and here's what I'm going to do. I doubt that there's going to be any major battles within the next few episodes, so... or next few episodes, next few turns, I'm going to take some time between the episodes and just go through the next, like, 5 or 10, well, maybe 8-ish turns, just before the endgame scenario, essentially. Go through them and just try to advance as close so that we can avoid all the building and hero moving that I would otherwise be doing. We'll come back right before the endgame scenario, and the only way I will stop that is if somebody declares war on us or we have an imminent fight. But otherwise, if there's no fights in the 8 turns going up to the endgame scenario, I'll just skip that and then come back. Anyway, stay tuned for the end game, as the end is now truly nigh, especially if my plan of doing a lot of stuff between the episodes works out. Don't forget to leave a like and comment. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.